Good morning, everyone. I'm Janine Cercado, and I'm going to present to you topic 4, psychology. When we talk about psychology, it talks about the study of behavior and mind, while the psychology of self, it focuses on the representation of an idea of individual based on his or her experiences. These experiences are either from the home, school, and other groups, organization, and the specification he or she engaged in. This explains that all of people has an experience na nangyari sa kanilang bahay, sa school, and even sa other groups such as in other places or experience through other people. Civically, the self is one of the most heavily researched areas in social and personality psychology, where concepts are introduced that beyond our physical attributes lies our physical identity. Question of who am I or what I am beyond my looks are thoughts of many that consciously search for a deeper sense of self which can be traced back from time to time of human history. Sinabi ni Pajares and Shrunk 2022, drawing on caves suggests that sometimes, during the dawn of history, human beings begin to give serious thoughts of their non-physical selves. With the advent of written history, writers would describe this awareness of selves in terms of spirit, psyche, or soul. Noon pa man ay binibigyan na ng mga tao ng seryosong kaisipan ang kanilang non-physical selves. This is awareness of self in terms of spirit, psyche, or soul. From ancient to current times, the concept of the self is always an interesting subject for many as it is very personal that it talks about the interpersonal properties. It is mentioned that whatever stance one's adopt regarding the self's ontological status, there is little doubt that the many phenomena of which the self is a predicate self-knowledge, self-awareness, self-esteem, self-enhancement, self-regulations, self-deceptions, self-representation, to name just a few, are indispensable research areas. The self as a cognitive constructions. Cognitive constructions is a cognitive approach that focuses on the mental processes rather than the observable behavior. This approach will assist individuals in assimilating new information to their existing knowledge and will enable to make the appropriate modifications to their existing intellectual framework to accommodate their new informations. Ang cognitive restructuring ay hindi lamang nag-focus sa mental processes, kundi na rin pati sa observable behavior ng tao. Na lahat ng tao ay may existing knowledge na, and if we have new informations, ina-accommodate lamang ito ng ating isip. William James and the Me Self, I Self. With the initiative of William Walt, the father of scientific psychology, scientific methods in studying what Aguirre et al. 2011 mentioned as phenomenon of the consciousness, urged interest in further studies of the self and its role in human behavior. It is this time that William James' classic distinction between the self as knower or pure ego and the self as known or empirical self provides a useful scheme within the view of multitudinous aspects of self-functioning. William James suggested that the self of me being as it were duplex, it composed of party object and party subject. As a consequence, he differentiated between the self as knower or the I and the self as known or me. He referred to the I as pure ego and suggested that this component of self is consciously itself. The me, on the other hand, is one of the many things that the I may be conscious of and consists of three components. Such three components are one physical or material, second is one social, and lastly is one spiritual. Material stuff consists of things that belong to us or what we belongs to, like family, clothes or body, and money are some of what makes up our material selves. This explains that lahat ng tao ay mayroong pag-aari, just like their own family, clothes, and their own body, and money are some of what makes up our material selves. Second, our social self. Our social self are who we are in given social situation. For James, people change how they act depending on the social situation that they are in. James believed that people had as many social self as they had social situation they participated in. This explains that ang pag-uugali ng tao ay nakadepende sa kanilang social situation. For example ay sa isang classroom. Sa isang classroom, mayroon kang isang grupo na sobrang close mo where you can express your true selves while sa ibang grupo ay hindi mo na ipapakita ang totoong ikaw kasi nahihiya ka. Spiritual self is who we are outcore. The spiritual self is more concrete or permanent than the other two selves, such as the material self and social self. The spiritual self is our subjective and most intimate self. Aspects of the individual spiritual self include things like his or her personality, core values, conscience that do not typically change through a lifetime. Spiritual self is the personal outcore of the person. Hindi ito makikita sa physical appearance ng isang tao. Sometimes, makikita natin ang spiritual self ng isang tao if we really know him or her well. Maipapakita niya ang kanyang personality, ang kanyang core values, at ang kanyang konsensya na hindi mawawala sa kanyang global versus differentiated models. There have been postulation that oneself may be fragmented into different parts and different selves, which may be in conflict, needs regulation from each other. Although William James gave a very interesting perspective on the self and was even among the first writer to join the self-esteem, other theories emerged to study to the selfhood as an integrated part of one's physique. In the past 30 years, self-esteem has become deeply embedded in popular culture, Juan Marcha 2006. It's the first on overall self-evaluation or sense of self-worth. Global self-esteem, aka feelings of self-esteem, is a personality variable that represents that may people generally feel about themselves. It is relatively enduring across time and situation. According to researchers, Cooker and Park 2004, Cooker and Walsh 2001, global self-esteem is a decision people making about their worth as a person. As a person, tayo ang naglalagay ng respeto at ating self-worth value sa ating mga sarili. Sa sarili mo nagsisimula ang worth mo as a person. Kung hindi ka na nire-respeto or binibigyan ng worth ng isang tao, it's time to let them go because sometimes hindi mo sila deserve o may mas darating pa na deserve mo. Second, state self-esteem, aka feeling of self-worth, refers to temporarily feelings or momentary emotional reaction to positive and negative events where we feel good or bad about ourselves during the situation or experience. Sometimes, may mga feelings tayo na hindi natin nakokontrol in a positive or in a negative way. Sometimes, we express our feelings to a people in a bad way. And for doing that, you feel bad for yourself. Kaya if you done something wrong to a person, kailangan mong bumawi in a positive way. Lastly, domain-specific self-esteem, aka self-evaluation, is focused on how people evaluate their values, abilities, and attributes. This is making distinction of differentiation on how good or bad people are in specific physical attributes, abilities, and personal characteristics. It explains that ikaw mismo ang nagbibigay ng self-evaluation sa iyong sarili, nagbibigay ng values sa iyong abilities and attributes in a good or in a negative way.